Coming up on ATV News.
A snowmobiler is lucky to be alive today after getting caught in an avalanche. We'll let him tell you what happened.
Aside from recent snow, this winter has been a dry one. Were the storms we had over the weekend enough to help Utah's dwindling water supply?
And one of USU's own takes the floor at the Olympics opening ceremony in Russia.
Coming up in sports, I'll show you if the men's basketball team could put an end to their longest losing streak in 16 years, and the women's tennis team puts their perfect record on the line.
It's cold outside. Coming up on the 7-day forecast, I'll let you know if you need your winter coat or your raincoat.
All of that and more coming up on this week's ATV News.
Welcome to this week's ATV News. I'm Becky Eisenhower.
And I'm Bradley Wells.
Today, Travis Jacobson is recovering after being caught in an avalanche last night, and search and rescue crews were called to find him. The emergency team spent a couple of hours using snowmobiles and sleds to look for Jacobson after he and his friends triggered an avalanche up Millville Canyon. Jacobson said they had been snowmobiling all day and were headed down the mountain when disaster struck. Jacobson was buried while his friends made it down safely. The rescue crews were able to find Jacobson, and there were no serious injuries.
I just want to thank everybody that was involved to help me get out of there safely, and just happy to be alive.
It was the wet, dense snow this weekend that left Logan in extreme avalanche danger. Our David Matthew Stewart shows us how you can be safe in the backcountry.
The Utah Highway Patrol closed down US 89 through Logan Canyon twice this past weekend after numerous avalanches covered the highway. The avalanches took place about 14 miles from the mouth of the canyon along the Dugway just south of Temple Fork and Ricks Spring.
It's closed very rarely. This area isn't a high avalanche danger. The avalanches are cleaned up, the road is clear. However, this is precautionary for now until we find out from the avalanche experts if it's safe to open or if they are going to need it to be closed to do avalanche control.
Unfortunately for those headed up to Beaver Mountain, the canyon remained closed for the rest of the night. In all, there were 11 avalanches in the canyon over the weekend, 5 of which covered or blocked portions of US 89 with slabs of icy wet debris, sometimes 4 to 5 feet deep.
At this point, they've called it extreme avalanche danger, and so they're asking us to block the road.
If you're heading out into the backcountry, make sure to use extreme caution. Also, pack along an avalanche kit including a beacon, shovel, and a probe. Over 90% of the avalanches that catch, carry, and kill people are caused by people.
I don't know a whole lot about avalanches, but I can tell you that they are not very forgiving, and you don't want to get caught in one.
David Matthew Stewart, ATV News.
You can rent avalanche rescue gear from the outdoor recreation program just east of the stadium.
Well, putting this weekend aside, it's been a very dry winter this year in Cache Valley. We went out to find out why and what you can do every day to help with the water levels.
You had to walk through snow this weekend, but that hasn't happened a lot this winter.
We only started getting major snowstorms about the first and second week of February.
Despite the recent big storm, Utah's water levels are still low.
We're not getting the precipitation that we would normally get.
Without the snow, Utah is still in drought with seasonal accumulation at 75% of the average amount.
So we've been in deficit, i.e. drought, for the last couple of years. We'll be the same this year.
In Utah, we use reservoirs to collect water, which can fill up to 100%. But according to the Natural Resource Conservation Service, last year they only filled up 55%, and this year they only filled up 46%. But according to Gillies, that's not where Cache County gets its water from.
Most counties in Utah get their water from ground wells, and those ground wells are replenished from groundwater, and that groundwater is replenished from snowfall.
But without the snowfall, students say winter and summer activities may not be the same.
It's hard to go snowboarding and skiing if there's no snow. It's hard to fish in the summer if there's no snow.
But there are some things you can do to help raise the water levels.
When I take a shower, I take shorter showers.
Make sure my roommates don't leave the water running.
Not over-watering your lawn, which many people do. There are a lot, and if we do that as a whole, then that can make a difference.
I guess it's a good thing the Olympics aren't here this year.
Yeah, a lot of rain. Speaking of the Olympics, you may be watching the Winter Olympics from your TV at home, but what would it be like to be there?
Our own USU professor, Rich Gordon, was invited to march in the opening ceremony in Sochi, Russia last Friday.
The opening ceremony started off the Winter Games with a bang, but had a malfunction during the show with the 5th Olympic ring. USU professor Rich Gordon marched with Team USA that night. Gordon has been previously involved with the Olympics and worked with the U.S. Gymnastics team in Seoul, the U.S. track and field team in Athens, and the U.S. Nordic combined team in Beijing. Day 6 is now over for the 2014 Winter Olympic Games. Norway leads with a total medal count of 12, Canada and Netherlands are tied for second with 10 medals each, and USA comes in with fourth with 9, including 3 gold, 1 silver, and 5 bronze.
There are many reasons people decide to quit a job. Time, money, bosses. You might be thinking of quitting for one of these reasons. But no matter what the reason, are you giving off clues that you're quitting before you actually do it?
And gymnastics routines aren't just for traditional events anymore. A new act is springing into the gymnasium.
Every budget, so don't accept defeat. Now you can get covered and still buy me treats.
You take care of your pets. Now it's their turn to take care of you. Visit getcoveredamerica.org to learn about your health insurance options.
Heart disease affects 1 in every 3 women in America, but you can fight back. There's no time to lose. Mothers, sisters, daughters, families, and friends, it's time to shout louder, stand stronger, and demand change.
Let's go! To the Batmobile! Dang it. To the invisible jet! Dang it.
Together, we can put an end to heart disease. It's time to go red for women.
I could use your help.
Yeah! Learn more from the American Heart Association at www.goredforwomen.org.
There's 40 acres of land up for grabs in Brigham City, and USU took the first dibs. USU President Stan Albrecht is hoping to use the land to create a better education for future Brigham Aggies. This is the old Intermountain Indian School being torn down after Utah State purchased 40 acres of land in Brigham City. This is the first step of many to update the Brigham USU campus. Albrecht has asked the legislature for $27 million to partially fund new buildings in both Brigham City and Price.
I am grateful to those who had the vision to buy all of the property up here on Old Main Hill. We didn't need all of that property when the university was started, but eventually we filled it in, and so we now have a beautiful piece of property in Brigham City that someday might be a much more significant campus.
Construction on the new buildings will begin after funding is approved.
When it comes time for you to quit your job, do your coworkers know you're quitting before you tell them?
There's a new study out that suggests they might. Our Jill Hodson went out to answer the question.
A recent study suggests employees ready to quit their jobs give cues indicating their plans. Associate Professor at USU Tim Gardner completed this research study, giving 5 main factors of employees quitting cues.
Seeking outside opportunities, negligence, outspokenness, clock punching, and disengagement.
When you're quitting a job, Gardner's research suggests that you're giving off cues. But do you even realize it?
There have been a couple of different jobs that I've disengaged from. And I knew that's what I was doing at the time.
I put in my 2 weeks notice, and then after that I just was like, didn't really like it. I had to clean shelves a lot and restock shelves, and I just stopped doing that because I was just like, I don't want to do it anymore, don't really care, because I was going to quit anyways.
Your managers may even notice your new behaviors.
I found that there was a lot of relevance in people becoming disinterested in their jobs, and they basically become slackers just because they know that they're going to be moving on.
Every single list of cues and signals that indicate someone is about to leave really came from just common sense managers' listings of what they thought, and not really empirically testing whether these cues distinguish between people who stay and who do not stay.
Jill Hudson, ATV News.
Gardner's study recently came out and so far has a 72% accuracy rating of predicting an employee quitting.
While some high school students spend their weekends at sporting tournaments, these kids spent their Saturday competing with robots. ATV's Tamara Bradley brings you the sights and sounds from the competition.
30 seconds left in this first match.
The right wires, gadgets, bolts, all are important parts of winning the competition. But what all does it take to build your very own robot?
You can have a world-class robot for about $1,500.
We worked on it over the summer, throughout the school year, till this day.
And these high school students came from all over Utah to battle for state champion of the VEX robotics competition last Saturday.
This represented the best 32 based on performance from 8 VEX regional competitions.
Registration and practice matches started at 7 a.m. and the final round didn't end until after 4 p.m.
I really only sat down like twice today, so I'm pretty tired.
The team members weren't the only ones who were worn out after the long day. Some of the robot engines started spinning out and even got stuck during the competition. But these kids are prepared to handle the glitches that come with competing.
For Alliance.
Just ask Team Murphy where they got their name.
It's in remembrance of Murphy's Law that everything that can go wrong will go wrong, and we try to remember that when we are doing our robotics.
Being prepared looks like it paid off. Teams Murphy, Skunkworks, and Star Fox took home the championship. Tamara Bradley, ATV News.
The champions will be headed to California later this year for the World's Tournament.
A new gymnastics act is jumping onto the scene with their new trampoline routine. Our own Misty Inglet caught up with the act to give us more on the story.
2 years ago, 4 coaches from High Point Gymnastics started a trampoline act, and since then, the act has taken off. They have performed all over Utah at different events, such as elementary school programs, street festivals, and even Real Salt Lake games. The team consists of 3 guys and 1 girl, but even though there's just the 4 of them, they have plenty of tricks up their sleeve to engage the crowd.
Try and kind of make it more like circusy, I guess, so to speak, so it's not just gymnastics.
We do try to showcase a variety of skills. We do the traditional gymnastics routines that you would see on TV, and then we try to bring some of the off-axis ski and snowboard tricks.
Our signature of the show is when Thomas and Michael are on the tramp, and Michael bounces, Tom says he's doing a belly drop, and he does the belly drops over and over, doing crazy things, and it's really high, 20, 30 feet in the air. I also do some harder tricks as well, that they have me do some double flips.
The group is looking to take their act to new heights. With new tricks and flips, they're looking to go national. They even hope to audition for America's Got Talent.
We've talked about maybe taking it to America's Got Talent, or maybe some other big shows like that.
They're working on adding things like triple backflips and possibly even some lifts. But no matter what, the group says their goal is to just keep entertaining people. Misty Inglet, ATV News.
If you'd like to learn more about the group, you can check out High Point Gymnastics down at the Sports Academy.
When we come back, our Jill Hodson has your Cache Valley weather forecast.
And the current temperature in Logan is 40 degrees.
Get caught buzzed driving, and you could do some hard time.
Craig, knock it off.
Sorry, Mom. It could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. And that could set you back a few years. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving. If you drive buzzed, it could cost you around $10,000. You'll face major legal fees. major fines, and steep insurance penalties. You could lose everything. Buzzed, busted, and broke. Because buzz driving is drunk driving.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke.
So Jill, what's with all this rain?
Yeah, it's February and there's no snow.
I know, it's really weird. You know, Mother Nature probably is not making up her mind very well, but we're gonna get some snow soon, I promise. Let's take a look outside. All right, so it's cleared up a little bit, and we do not have as much rain right now as we did this morning. May we take a look at the national radar? All right, so today, Atlanta and South Carolina and the North Carolina area, they're experiencing some rain and snow mix. It's very light, not very heavy, and it's not causing much problems. And over in Oregon, we have precipitation going on in Portland and the Eugene areas. Let's take a look at Utah. All right, so for Utah, we've got a lot of precipitation in the northern area from Provo up to Logan. So we are going to be experiencing snow and a rain mix today and then rain tomorrow. Can we take a look at our 7-day? All right. So we have 80% chance today, which that is obviously happening. And then we have an 80% chance tomorrow on Thursday. Going into the weekend, it's going to be a little clear on Saturday, but rain again on Sunday. And for our President's Day, it'll be partly cloudy with 40% or with a 40 high temperature.
So what does that mean for sports, Jason?
It means it's a good thing everything is inside right now. I mean, baseball is starting out, but they won't be home for a while, so we'll get more into that later. But coming up, spring training is underway at USU, and the team is looking to regain their championship form. And the men's tennis team serves up Seattle University.
Need an adventure? The Outdoor Recreation Program at USU offers a wide variety of rental equipment, from winter gear like skis, snowshoes, and snowboards, to summer must-haves like kayaks, rafts, and camping gear. From sleeping bags to Dutch oven necessities, we have it all. So stop in and see us. Located at 950 East, 1000 North, in the basement of the distribution building behind Romney Stadium, we're open Mondays through Fridays, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So stop in or call to get your gear today.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
People think I'm trash, but they're wrong. Today I'm just an aluminum can, but one day I could be a stadium.
Welcome back to this week's edition of ATV Sports. I'm Jason Borba. It was a big weekend for USU teams as one streak looked to come to an end and another looked to continue. That is Dennis Baumgartner, who played in just kidding, we're going to intro that. The Utah State men's and women's tennis teams were both in action this week, and the men are currently 3-5 on the season, and the women have already matched their total wins from last season with 5. On Friday, the Aggie men hosted Seattle University, and on Tuesday, the Lady Aggies put their perfect record up against Weber State at home. We'll start things off on the men's side of the court. Freshman Dennis Baumgartner won the first set over Kevin Lynch 6-4, but the second set was a little bit tougher. Down 4-5, Baumgartner forced a tiebreaker, But in that tiebreaker, things got a little scary as Baumgartner went down with a calf injury. He was able to return and finish the set. Baumgartner comes up to the net and gets this backhand to drop and bounce to set up match point. The pressure, well, it was just too much for Lynch as he double faults on his serve to end the match and give Baumgartner a 6-4, 6-5 victory. The rest of his teammates followed suit as the Aggies defeated the Redhawks with a total score of 5-2. The women, all they do is win, 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 no matter what, and that was no different on Tuesday against the Wildcats. The Aggies smashed their way to a 6-1 victory over their in-state rivals to remain perfect on the season. The only loss for USU came in the number 4 singles when Lexi Turley lost to Tyus Kerr 6-2, 7-6. The men won't be back in action until February 22nd when they host Weber State, and the women, they're not playing back at home until March 27th. They hit the road starting this Friday against the University of Idaho.
Sitting in 9th place in conference, the Aggies look to get...
In the midst of a 5-game slide that included blowout losses in the last 2 games, Utah State was looking for a change when they hosted Nevada. Our Bradley Wells went courtside to bring you the action.
Sitting in 9th place in conference, the Aggies look to get back on track as they took on the Wolfpack.
It's hard when you're 2-7 and you just got your tail kicked a number of times, and we had really good practices. We talked about having some energy and not cashing it in. We got the second half of the league starting tonight. I thought our guys were really engaged and really played hard and gave themselves a chance to win.
USU did just that, taking a hard-fought 1-point lead into the break after a high-energy first half.
We talked about that at halftime, coming out the second half aggressive, not giving in, having a good second half because we played hard the first half.
We just kept going, we kept fighting, and stayed aggressive, and it helped us a lot.
The Aggies needed every bit of the aggressive play. Butterfield gave USU a 12-point lead with 2:42 left after this 3. But Nevada's Deontay Burton wasn't going down without a fight, cutting the lead back down to 6 after this layup.
We could have done a little better there at the end, I think, but he's a great player. He knows how to get to the rack very well.
USU held on to win 83-75, shooting 50% for the game.
A lot of guys did really good things, so much needed win.
The lid finally came off for the Aggies in their victory against Nevada, and they hope that it continues against the Broncos in a revenge game. They also hope that the student section gives them an extra boost. We pick up on the action in the second half, where the Aggies broke up a tied game at the break with a 3 by Preston Medlin and Tanel Rowland.
It's difficult because if you double off of the guys we have, we've got a lot of guys that can make threes.
Kyle Davis and Jared Shaw both scored in double figures as their aggressive play controlled the paint throughout the game.
Jared and Kyle did a great job inside tonight. We got it into them. They made good post moves. They didn't settle for staying outside and shooting jump shots. They got into the lane and made some good shots.
With their presence in the post, the Broncos defense left the Aggie shooters open for easy outside shots.
We've got great shooters like Preston and Spencer. We can only help them by getting our game going.
USU went on to win 76-70, getting revenge for the loss earlier this year. From the Spectrum, Bradley Wells, ATV Sports.
The Aggies got their first back-to-back wins in conference play with the win over Boise State. USU beat Colorado State on the road Tuesday night and now bring a 3-game winning streak back home when they host UNLV on Saturday. With spring right around the corner, that means it's finally baseball season, and the USU club team is gearing up for their upcoming year. They began practicing back in January at the Fieldhouse. The 27-player team is preparing for their 4-game series against the College of Southern Idaho this weekend in Twin Falls. They will then head to Mesquite, Nevada for a 3-day tournament. So guys, the baseball team's first game will be April 11th when they host Idaho State University.
It'd be exciting to see if they can get back to that championship form.
For sure.
That's really exciting. Thanks, Jason.
Coming up after the break, no, they aren't looking to get frostbite. These people were jumping into freezing water for a cause.
And people from all over the state came to Logan to enjoy this tasty tradition.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Up, college is hard. Down, those books are heavy.
My sport is football, but my passion is education.
Right up here.
So every year I take promising high schoolers on a college tour
Lights there, darts there.
to show them that higher education means a brighter future. My name is Nnamdi Asamoah. I don't just wear the shirt, I live it.
You can be a reader, tutor, or mentor too. Take the pledge at liveunited.org/volunteer.
Do you wear this?
If you can sit with me, imagine what you'd see if every child had a book to read. 'Cause every kid across the nation deserves a book to read, and we can make it happen right now. No, I don't know what you've been told, but kids with books learn so much more. So the mission is for us to get a book to each and every child. So let's join hands, book people unite, unearth hidden passion. Come on, we'll have a good time. Planting seeds of inspiration to motivate some magic. To change the writing on the wall, writing on the wall. Can make a difference. One book can inspire a child. One book can be the first thing that helps to change a life. People unite.
Read to a child today and spark a lifetime of ambition.
Have you ever done anything crazy for money? Well, about 150 people at Hiram Dam did, and Brandon Fonda is live to show us what happened. Brandon?
Thanks, Becky. They did it for money, but if you're wondering how much money they got, well, you're asking yourself the wrong question. The better question would be, how much did they donate?
There you go, Jeff.
At Hiram Dam, we're making a splash Saturday morning, all to raise money for Special Olympics Utah. In order to plunge into the icy waters, each person had to raise a minimum of $40 if they were students and $50 for adults. The money donated helps Utah's Special Olympic athletes train for the year. This polar plunge was only one of 4 that will take place across Utah this month. Event coordinators were very pleased at how everything turned out and are grateful for their support.
We just want to thank everybody that came out and supported us. This was my first event, so I appreciate all the support that has been given, all the prizes, the donations from many of the local companies here.
By the paint on their faces, you could tell that water was freezing, but some of them walked away with more than just hypothermia. Prizes were given out for the best dressed or the best diver. The plungers donated about $12,000 for their icy baths. Back to you, Becky.
Thanks, Brandon. The Polar Plunge happens every year, so if you'd like to donate or jump in the water next year, visit SOUT.org.
Utah State is known for having traditions 126 years in the making, and every year students take a whole week to celebrate their university. She just got a brand new sweater. At the sweatshirt swap, any student can donate an old sweater and trade it for this. The swap is just one of the events happening this week on campus, and last night a magician came to perform.
Participate because it unifies our campus and it shows the reasons why Utah State is what it is and why we're here.
The events that Zoe chose to do are events that kind of reach out to different crowds of people so that everyone has a chance to come together and do something that maybe we haven't done before.
Events continue this week and end with True Aggie Night on Friday.
Chocolate lovers from all over the state flocked to Cache Valley last Saturday for the 27th Annual Chocolate Festival. People were lining up at the Four Seasons Event Center in North Logan for the festival. a fundraiser for the Planned Parenthood Association of Utah. The event featured over 40 chocolate entries. Thanks for joining us here on ATV News.
Have a good day, Cache Valley, and join us next week.
People think I'm trash.